Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, Taking Care of Business. The man who rules the world breaks in a brand new partner to help him take care of business in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get John Haynes, Taking Care of Business at paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere.
Goldman Sachs is committing $10 billion in investment capital and $100 million in philanthropic capital to impact the lives of 1 million black women. And when I heard Goldman Sachs present this press release talking about how it was investing in black women, I had to ask a critical question. Why isn't Goldman Sachs investing in black men and black business owners like myself? And when I answer that question, it makes me think that Goldman Sachs is being quite sexist as related to discriminating against black men and black business owners like myself, and it's being quite racist in discriminating against black male business owners like myself. Because if you wanted to have a real impact, I would think you would want to invest in both black men and black women, but your Goldman Sachs only wants to commit to black women. And to me, that is a passive-aggressive attack on the black community. Now, passively, your Goldman Sachs is trying to make itself look like a good guy by investing this $10 billion in investment capital and $100 million in philanthropic capital in black women, but aggressively they are taking a shot at black men. Because to economically empower the woman is a way to emasculate the black men in that community and a way to strip those black men in that community from their economic manhood and prevent them from going out here and do what men naturally do, and that is lead in their community, control their community, control the images in their community, control the narratives in their community, and go out here and be authority figures in their community and build in their community. That's what this decision by Goldman Sachs does. It economically emasculates black men and prevents them from being able to take power in their communities, because when you invest in the black woman over the black man, that prevents that community from having a leader in charge, and it prevents that community from having a group of men there who can set a tone and set a standard in that community. So when I look at this investment, it is one way to attack the black community, because every time you go out here and empower women in a community, it leads to the decline of that community. And that has been historically shown to us when the leftists created the welfare state and the feminists came in, and black women sided with the feminists and the leftists in creating that welfare state. The removal of the black man from his leadership position led to the de facto establishment of the black woman as the controller of the household and head of household, and the one controlling the resources in the household. And this is what led to the complete decline of the black community. And why would Goldman Sachs invest billions and $100 million in philanthropic capital towards a model that has already proven to be a failure? That's a critical question I have to ask those executives at Goldman Sachs as related to this investment to impact the lives of 1 million black women. Why would you invest $10 billion in investment capital and $100 million in philanthropic capital to impact the lives of 1 million black women when the federal government already poured $40 trillion into these black communities to impact the lives of black women, and black women have become poorer over the course of 50 years and $40 trillion invested in them to get them out of poverty? Because when we look at the statistics as related to investing in black women, they have become practically a money pit for the federal government. So why is a private company investing investment capital into black women when it's already been proven to be a statistical failure? Because what these guys at Goldman Sachs, I think they know they're doing is they know if they invest in the woman, they're going to make profits at her expense, the same way your Korean hair and nail salon owners are doing right now, the same way your Arab store owners are doing right now, the same way your Hispanics um, are doing right now at the bodegas, and the same way your Indians and Arabs are doing with these fast food franchises, and the same way whites are doing with these supermarkets. Many of these same people, they invested in the black community because they know that the black woman is a consumer and not a producer. And they know that the black woman is somebody who buys on her to be able to medicate her feelings because she's primarily emotional. And this is a point I go in depth in my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. And one of the reasons why so many black women are single is because people in many other communities benefit from having the black woman in charge of the economic resources of the community because she is a consumer and not a producer, and investing in her means more profits for them in the long term. So this 10 billion and 100 million that's supposed to impact the lives of 1 million black women will bring billions for many of these corporations at the expense of the black woman. And that's probably why they wanted to invest in the black woman, because one, they could emasculate the black man for another generation, or two, by stripping him of his ability to be able to financially build his own community, and two, they could go out here and make money at the expense of this black woman, which has been what's been going on right now. Because again, if you wanted to have an impact on the black community in a positive way, you would think many of these companies like Goldman Sachs would want to invest in a black male business owner like myself, running the SJS Direct imprint, trying to create positive stories that present a picture of black culture and the black experience, trying to diversify the black experience so people can get a bigger picture of what it means to be black outside of the mainstream narratives of the hood and the street, and somebody who wants to diversify the book market so that black men, women, and children can see a bit broader picture of themselves. You would think a company like Goldman Sachs would want to invest in a black man like myself, but they don't want to invest in a black man like myself because they don't like the idea of the image of a black man like myself being a leader. They don't like the image of a black man presenting a positive image of black manhood and black masculinity to inspire other young brothers out here. And they don't like the idea of a black man having say over what goes on in his community, controlling images in his community, controlling the narrative in his community. So they will go out here and invest in a black woman who does not really think about the big picture as related to these things and the impact this has on every black man, black woman, and black child out here. And because many of these black women who they want to invest in aren't really thinking about the big picture, and they're emotional and they're caught up in the day-to-day, these companies can make a lot of more profits at the expense of that community. Now they talk about their things about black womenomics and black empowerment, but from what I've seen, again, based on what happened 50 years ago with the establishment of the welfare state, this has not led to the black community being empowered. And again, investing in the black woman has led to an increase in poverty, an increase in unemployment, and an increase in crime. And it failed with the welfare state, and it has failed everywhere we go, because a lot of times when you invest in black women, they don't stay on the job that long, because sometimes they quit jobs. They'll get an education, but then they'll quit a job because sometimes they get into issues with white women, or they just decide that they are going to have a baby, or in some cases they get involved with Mr. Pookie and they just decide to quit. Whereas a black man, he has to work because work is about his survival, and they don't want to invest in that black man because that black man, not only is he going to work hard because it's about his survival, because he has no safety nets to be able to fall back on. No, he has to go out here and fight. And that's the one thing that they don't really want to see as related to black men. That's why they don't want to invest in black men, because investing in black men represents competition. And many of these companies fear that if black men start to compete, they fear that black men will start to dominate as related to economics. And they fear that if black men start to dominate in economics, the same way we dominated in the NBA and the NFL, they fear that they won't be able to compete at all. And they fear that if black men start to take power, they may possibly want to do what the slave masters did in the antebellum South. But these are ridiculous notions, because all most black men want to do is go out here and build wealth. They want to go out here and build families, and that's something that many of these corporations don't want you to see black men do. And that's why they try to economically emasculate and castrate the black community, because by investing in the black woman, you are setting the black community up for poverty for another generation. It doesn't matter how much money you pour into the women are not going to be able to pull a profit, because they have a consumer mindset, not a producer mindset. And this has been shown again through the Moynihan report, and it has been shown through many numerous pieces of research. But again, it's troubling that they're talking about having an impact on 1 million black women, when if you invested in 1 million black men, you would go out here and have a strong black community, and a community that would be interdependent and not codependent. But nobody wants to invest in those black men, because the only place most white supremacists want to see a black man is in the prison system. They only want to see a black man as cheap prison slave labor. And if they took a minute to invest in those black men like myself, they would have a stronger economy, they would have a stronger America, and they would have a stronger marketplace. But many of these racists, they don't want to invest in a black man. And this whole plan, again, is one that they deliberately created to set up to fail, because they want to have an impact on the lives of 1 million black women, but they want that 1 million black women to be consumers like their mothers and their grandmothers, and they want them to go out here and invest in their economy. They don't want us to build our own economy, and that is the primary reason why they don't want to invest in having an impact on 1 million black men. Now, I have a new book out called John Haynes Taking Care of Business, and I'm trying to get to the double-digit sales. So I would really appreciate it if you guys would head over to Amazon.com and pick up a copy of John Haynes Taking Care of Business in paperback or Kindle format. That would help me be able to continue publishing more positive SJS Direct books. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.